today I want to talk about two particular solutions. The first one, as you mentioned, Alfred, is the hashtag campaign, which is very simple. Maybe we should, do you think we should demonstrate, Alfred? What do you think?
Yes, yes. I think that that's great because yesterday when you were introducing me to the hashtag campaign, I really began to see how, you know, how it's a way to really focalize a lot of people's energy and attention at a time when there's all sorts of influences, like an AI infestation on the planet. That's just an objective condition whose mission is to fractionalize human attention. So
Right.
these are measures that are quite rational and quite beneficial socially and collectively. So
Right.
over to you.
Right. Well, here's the thing. As a solutionary and somebody who's been targeted for 15 years and been exposed to the kind of evil that one would pray didn't exist but does exist, I have been, you know, I'm a conceptual thinker and also I'm a concepts innovator. You know, that's my preoccupation, and that's part of the reason I was targeted, because I bring about new innovations. You know, I'm always thinking about creative solutions. How do we address the situation that we're dealing with? Now, the whole premise for the hashtag campaign is this: we're in a climate of extreme distrust. That's the first thing, because there are so many perps out there, there are so many agents out there, there's an infestation of people who have been hired to, you know, to infiltrate into genuine people's groups who are trying to mobilize people proactively, intelligently, to look at solutions of how we stop the evil. We, right now, where we are, is most of us are completely aware of what's going on. We all know the program. We all know that they're doing false flags. Now we've got this burn situation. They're burning down the place left, right, and center. Never before in history have you seen so many fires. Apparently there was one in a shop called Primark today. I don't know, I haven't read the news for it. Somebody kindly left me a comment and asked me, Seven, do you think that's a fake one as well? I would say...
Well, you were saying that there were 5 towns in Sweden that were burned down, and then there are the fires in California, which were cookie cutter nature and obviously done from space-based laser or some other advanced technology.
Right. Well, this is the thing. Here's the thing. You know, most of us, even on a level of common sense, will see that there is no way that you can get all these fires kicking off at the same time. These are staged, deliberate fires, just like Grenfell Tower was a staged, deliberate fire to kill people in the most horrific way possible, okay? For anybody who hasn't seen the crime report about Grenfell Tower, you can go to Alfred's channel, News Inside Out, and download the PDF there. Or you can email me and I'll send you the actual hard copy of the PDF. But here's the thing. The fires are the new false flag. Obviously, they know that people are aware and they're hip to the false flag program. So now they're burning all these places down and making it look like it's fires. But there is a movie, and we know, most of you who watch Alfred's channel, you're fully aware of Operation Mockingbird. Now, Operation Mockingbird is always used to predict or to put it out there what they're doing. okay? Whether it's to deal with their karma. I mean, some people say they're doing that for karmic reasons. In other words, we told you we were going to do it. You didn't say anything about it. Tough shit. Okay, so maybe potentially that could be the reason. But at this point, it really doesn't matter why they're doing it. The reality is that they are doing it. The reality is that we're 7 billion strong on this planet, and the majority of the people on this planet are good, you know, kind, loving people. They want peace, they want justice, they want freedom. That's the majority of us. Where we fall short is the fact of what the hell do we do about it? We've got these psychopaths coming at us like a freight train with all level of evil under disguise of this and the disguise of that. It's all being manufactured and pushed out by the mainstream media as being atrocities, one atrocity after the other. And humanity sits there watching all this. And those of us that are awake know that there's something diabolical and sinister taking place in our midst, okay? Now we have to come outside from the analysis, because at this point, we've done the analysis again and again and again and again and again. We have to transition to the position and focus of what we're going to do about it, okay? It's in, obviously, the whole analyzing of the false flag is necessary to educate people who have just woken up to the horror that we're all sitting in. However, those of us who are on the front line, particularly those of us who have been targeted for decades, you know, like yourself, people who are, we're already aware, we know what's going on, we're past that now. So basically, where do we go from actually, this is happening to us, to the solution and implementing that solution in a way that shuts it down? Now, the reason why I came up with a hashtag campaign is, or what inspired the hashtag campaign is a number of things. There is a climate of distrust. People don't trust each other. Even when people come together for genuine reasons, you know, it gets infiltrated, it gets destroyed in one way or another for one reason or another. So we need something that everybody can participate in, that doesn't involve anybody else. Obviously, people can do it in teams, those people who trust each other, but you can engage without actually having to have the assistance of anybody else. You don't need to use your name. You can do it anonymously. It's extremely, extremely simple. Now, the inspiration for it, many of you will remember a few months ago, or quite a few months ago now, there was this whole thing about releasing the memo in regards to what happened to Donald Trump when he was running his campaign, and they showed that there was illegal wiretapping going on, okay? And what happened in America is the American people beautifully, really beautifully rose to the occasion, and they started hitting to Twitter and all social media with this hashtag campaign, release the memo. So basically, he had people who were hashtagging release the memo, and they were blasting these out. Literally, they were coming, and I was enjoying looking at all the hashtags of release the memo, because you had people with clips and gifs of movies with a gun, and what's that actor's name? Leonardo DiCaprio with a gun, and said, release the memo, you know what I mean? And people were really creative and inventive about it. And it was inspiring. You know, I used to go through Twitter and just scroll through all these hashtags of all this released a memo, and it went viral. And basically, once something goes viral, that means it has to be addressed. Okay, they didn't let up until that memo was released. And what happened? The memo was released. Whether it was redacted, whether it was whatever, whoever was holding the memo realized, holy moly, these people want that memo, and they're not going to stop until they get it. And they, of course, got it. Okay, now I thought we should be using this principle to address all the shit that's going on. So I thought, light bulb moment, we need to do a hashtag campaign that addresses the bullshit. In other words, so basically, since you know, like, I can't remember when was it April, when they planned to blow the place up, and they said they're gonna go to war and what have you. So what I did was I started the hashtag No More Abuse UK. Okay, so I was including that in the titles of all my videos. I put the hashtag and then capitals No More Abuse UK, and then I made a video about people following suit. Okay, but I wasn't able to really apply myself because of computer sabotage in one way or another, which is usually the case with me. So anyway, of late, let's say in the last month or so, I've been making videos on my channel and speaking about this principle. And basically, it's enough now. You know, I mean, it's beautiful that we have people now being courageous and coming forward. I'm talking about victims, survivors who have gone through some horrors, like me, who have gone through some horrors, and in some cases even worse. I mean, my case involves false flags. I watched my family burning in the tower. My mum has died suspiciously, my father. You know, I mean, anybody who knows about Seven Gate will be aware of that. But we've had, of late, an influx of survivors coming forward, such as the woman Katie Groves, who speaks about the snuff movie industry and children being trapped in Texas underground. And she said it's mainly children of color who are being kept underground. They're being boiled alive. They are being chopped up. I mean, I'm saying this to you, but the level of what it does to my spirit to even have to say these words is so disturbing to me. It's so disturbing to me. You know, there's a video, if you look on, her name is Katie Groves, and she's on YouTube. And maybe perhaps we can put the link of that video on this video so that people can see what I'm talking about. I actually did a video as well, and I put her in it, so I'll put that in so that you can understand it in relation to why I'm talking about this hashtag campaign. And I have complete conviction that this will work. You know, it's one of the solutions that I'm going to talk about today. But yeah, so this Katie, she was talking about children being kept in a place underground. She said even if you wanted to help them, you know, she doesn't know what anybody could do to help these children and help rescue them. You know, they're living, these children are being fed each other. You know, I mean, can you consider that for a moment? Can you consider that little children are being boiled alive? They're getting chopped up and fed to each other, and then sleeping in piss and shit. I mean, she was very graphic. Can you just, I mean, how does anybody continue their day when you know that this is going on? How do you continue knowing that they're genociding people? 7/7 bombings was a genocide. Grenfell Tower was a genocide. Charlie Hebdo, Boston, all of these are false flag events. They're snuff movies. We're talking about a movie industry that is profiteering from the genocide and the horrific, diabolical killings of innocent people. You know, how is it possible that we are not impassioned to stop this? And I am impassioned to stop it. I sit down and I wreck my brain 24/7. What do we do? I'm only one person. I implement my concepts, but it's going to take the mobilization of everybody to participate in order for it to be effective. And it will be effective because it doesn't cost any money. If you've got an internet connection, that's all it requires. If you've got a social media, if you haven't opened one up, open up a new Twitter, open it. And basically the whole concept is to blast, just like they did with Release the Memo, blast hashtags. No more evil. Get the criminals out. Get the Satanists out. We know what you're doing. Different hashtags. Okay, so I've got a list of these hashtags. And the idea is to blast them. Pow, 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 pow. As in a bombardment onto all of the people that we know that are doing the crimes. So, okay, we know that BBC is complicit. It's being run by the people who were part of Jimmy Savile's satanic network. These are the people who are in Sevengate. These are the people who have targeted me, okay? I don't know these people from a can of paint. They've targeted me for the last 15 years to fund a covert slave trade, okay? Steal intellectual property to run what is a covert slave trade, okay? It's part of their trafficking operations. It's organized IP crime, okay? Now the money from this organized IP crime is on the black market. It's funding false flag terror. It's funding slave trading and trafficking. And it's the people who are in my case, the Sevengate case, who are at the top of the whole pyramid. They are the ones who are perpetrating from the highest levels, okay? Now, we have got to a point where every single department that we can go to for help as targeted people is basically either going to call you a nutter, or they're going to try to bury your evidence when you bring evidence, or what they're going to do is they're going to put you under a targeting program and try to get rid of you, dispose of you as quickly as possible, okay? That's partly what we're up against, okay? So we're talking about every department. I have been to the police. I've been to every single institution. I've gone to the judicial system, okay? I've gone to the Trading Standards Operation, the Crown Prosecution Service, okay? I've gone to the Independent Police Complaints Commission. All of these have records and know exactly what is going on. They know exactly what is being done to me. They know exactly that these people are perpetrating false flag domestic terror on a scale never seen before in history. And they have their wheels and their machines that are covering it up. And the problem that we have with that is not just the fact that these particular crimes have nobody's ever been prosecuted. Those who are guilty have never been prosecuted. That we also are living with the reality that they're perpetrating more and more. The program is getting ramped up. It's coming at us at a speed that is unfathomable. You know, you look at Sweden. 8 cities were taken out in Sweden by directed energy weapons. They set off all these cars. I think it was 90 something cars was recorded as being in all these different cities in Sweden. We have Greece, what happened in Greece. people were running for their lives, looking for the sea to run because they were being burnt alive. California, we've seen it happen. You know, it's going on all over the world. Any of you who watches this channel is aware of this. Now, we are not stupid. We're not going to fall for the okie doke. We have to transition where we use our inner knowledge as well, because we also have our intuition. We know what is going on so many levels. Okay, so we have to transition from this externalization of power, this program which has taught everybody when something bad happens to you, you go to the police, or you go to this lawyer, or you go to this department, because all of those departments are null and void. All of those departments will never put their neck on the line. The people who are manning those departments are gatekeepers. That's the reality that we're facing right now. The people who are manning these departments are gatekeepers. So what do we do under the circumstances where we have heinous crimes against humanity that is taking place on a breakneck speed right now? Okay, they've got all the economic power, they've got all the money, they've got all the monetary influence. The first thing we have to do is that we have to redirect power to ourselves. Okay, so we're talking now about the internalization of power. That means me as one individual who's sitting here before you, what can I do to be proactive and empowered in order to do something about this mess, this evil, and change it? Okay, so once we consider that, then we have to look at realistically, what can we do? Because we have to transition from the dance of it's a false flag, and them knowing that we know it's a false flag, but they're pretending because they believe they've still got control of the media, so they can still influence the largest majority of people out there that it wasn't a false flag. So basically they can keep putting out the propaganda and the spin and keeping the wheels of the evil turning and turning and turning and turning and turning and turning until everybody's dead. Okay, most people know by now that the mainstream media are complicit. It's being run by the psychopaths that are doing these crimes. Okay, so we know this. So here's where the hashtags come in. Hashtag, we know what you've done. Hashtag, stop your evil. Hashtag, no more evil. This is where you take your anger and your frustration and your fed upness, for if even that's a word, you know, this is where you use your power to make your voice known, to send the message directly to these organizations. We need to start pumping all of these organizations with empowered hashtags. Empowered. We know. So basically, we're not diagnosing and analyzing anymore. We're pumping hashtags, blasting a bombardment of hashtags at every single media institution that is complicit in the crimes against humanity. The snuff movies that this woman, Katie Groves, is talking about is a movie industry. It's a movie, it's an extension of the entertainment industry where all the corruption is the heart of it. It's the heart of everything that is being done that is evil. That is where the cesspit is being run, okay? Then it's being controlled and covered up by the intelligence agencies, by the police, by this corrupt people in the courts. These people are keeping the wheels turning and keeping the cloak of the veil around it so that we can't get to it. And basically, it is kept concealed. But the concealment, the veil has lifted. Okay, so let me tell you something very important as well, because there are divine forces with us. And we must also put that into the equation because it's extremely serious, okay? I did a video, I think it was last year, on the 23rd of September, prophecy, biblical prophecy, okay? Now, I'm not professing to be a scholar of biblical prophecy at all, okay? But I know, I've read the Bible and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita and many scriptures inside out, over and over and over and over again. However, there are better people out there who will break down biblical prophecy. But what I do completely understand is the Mazzaroth. And the Mazzaroth is the constellations in the skies of planetary activity that shows us how the Most High Creator communicates with his people. Those of us who understand the divine. You can't get into the divine. You can't have it. If we want to bring about the divine feminine and divine masculine, you have to get the instructions from the Most High, okay? So that isn't, to me, I speak for myself. I respect all people of religions, okay, of all religions. I do not respect Satanists. I do not acknowledge it as a religion. So let's just put that out there right now, okay? I respect my Christian brothers, my Muslim brothers, my Sikh brothers, you know, all the religions who live pious, humble lives and seek to carry out the scriptures and the will of morality, ethics, and the will of the Most High in their own personal lives. I respect all people who do that, okay? So I'm talking to everybody. I do not differentiate. To me, I come from the heart. My religion is the heart. Coming from the heart, that's me, okay? Whether you want to define that as however, that's fine by me. I speak from the heart to your heart. That's it for me, okay? So, and this is my understanding of what the divine order is. I believe God is the heart. This is what I believe. It's that simple for me. I think God dwells within the heart and makes you conscious of your behavior to other people. You know, I believe that we come here to alleviate human suffering. That's what we've come here for, and to elevate and uplift one another, you know, to thrive in this world. So for me, to see the atrocities and the evil, it hurts my spirit in a way I cannot put into words. It hurts me deeply, deeply, deeply. And I will not stop until I find a solution to end this nightmare. Now, I think this is a solution. It's doable because, as I said, you don't need anybody else to participate in this process. All it needs is for you to have a heart and for you to recognize that the evil, the level of evil, because we're talking about people that have gone to the extreme of evil. There's no bounds. There's no stopping them. It's like nothing is off limits to them. Everything they can do without not shred of conscience, okay? While they put their hocus pocus out there to bamboozle people, to make people think what they just saw, they didn't see. Okay, we all looked at Grenfell Tower burning. It was an inferno, which took off in 15 minutes. Shoo! They burnt the building down. That was prepped professionally, okay? Now, after we watched this horror of people jumping out of the windows, people throwing their babies out. You know, I know people that live in that neighborhood that are still traumatized, let alone the people whose families died in there, okay? I happen to be one of them, okay? And the sad thing for me is that I know what happened. This is why we did a crime report. Most of the people that are walking around saying justice for Grenfell, they don't actually even recognize how deep this rotten cesspit of evil really is. And for those who perpetrated it, it's business as usual. No problem. Business as usual. Okay? While people are getting killed in horrific ways. They put out some spin propaganda in the media to make it look like you didn't see what your eyes saw. Your eyes saw people burning a building go up in 15 minutes. Everybody witnessed that. Everybody witnessed that there was a fire engine with a little hose that went up a quarter of the building. Okay? Everybody witnessed that there was no water put from above. Everybody witnessed the whole disgusting, diabolical way this whole thing went down, okay? Just like 9/11, okay? Those people who witnessed 9/11. And by the way, the same perpetrators in the 7 Gate crime ring are also involved in the 9/11. Helen Alexander's name, who's the she-devil in my case, she has been cited in the Pedogate, high-level Pedogate operatives. What's it called? Female Pedogate operatives in high places. If you Google that or internet search that, she's number 89, and that was flagged up in a compiled list of 92 females, she-devils, who are all part of this satanic program by Abel Danger, who's part of, what's his name? Phil McConnell, part of Abel Danger. He created a list, and lo and behold, people from the 7 Gate is actually in that list. So along my path, people have brought evidence to me. Okay, so we are being hocus pocused, okay? We have been given the okie doke to basically turn our intelligence off, turn our eyes off, turn our hearts off, turn our intuition off, turn off all the guides that we have in our lives around us, to fall for a pack of bullshit lies to cover up mass murder on mammoth proportions. Now we are seeing it play out all over the place, while they put their media machine into motion to tell you, oh, it was the sun was too hot. And so the trees didn't burn, the leaves didn't burn, just the buildings. Everything else was standing. Come on now. Come on now. We're gonna fall for this. When they're coming for you. If those of you who think, oh my God, this woman, she's talking too much. One person said to me one time, Alfred, he said, you haven't got any fear. You need to have some more fear. I thought to myself, what is he saying to me? I said, people are being killed. He said, you haven't got any fear. You need to have more fear. I said, listen, brother, sorry about that. I can't help you there. I'm sorry, but I can't live with this shit. I can't live with it. I can't live with it. I refuse to live with it. I refuse it. I make that my declaration. I refuse it. Okay? And you should, every one of you should refuse it too. This is not any way for anybody to be living, to tolerate, just because it hasn't happened to you yet. Yet. Because if you think these people are not coming for you, they're coming for every single one of us. They want to wipe us all out. Isn't that true, Alfred? What did you say to me earlier? You said it's a program whereby you said it was so, you put it in a nutshell, Alfred. What was it that you said to me? They want to burn everything up until basically, because that's the only way they know how to escape this.
Yeah, this is a scorch, in my opinion, after ample study, this is a scorched earth policy by a retrograde elite in finance, government, monarchies, and churches, with humans with human bodies and reptilian souls who want to burn down they burn down Tiamat, they burn down Mars, and they don't know how to retreat gracefully or how to negotiate a surrender. And so that's why Israel's nuclear arsenal is called the Samson option, because they plan to use, if Israel's existence is threatened, they plan to use Samson. It's a meme that they're using around the Samson
And Delilah.
Story, the Samson and Delilah story, where Samson pushed the columns of the temple and it all came down. The Samson option, that the synagogue of Satan, that is those Jews' bodies with reptilian souls, are using, in my opinion, as exemplified by Gary Peter Carlson and his research, is that they'll blow up Earth if their synagogue of Satan is threatened. And so, and they're behind the genocide, along with the Jesuits, but they're taking care of the Jesuits. And now, as we know from hermeneuticist Peter Kling, the Antichrist family is in the UK. It's either Prince William or Prince Charles. I'm sorry, there's a split of opinion there.
The beast, Alfred.
Yeah, and so
no
that's why I believe that Seven has been targeted, because she went in there. She exposed this this UK corruption with Helen Alexander that Abel Dangerfield McConnell found, number 89 on the list of Satanists. Helen Alexander, this lawyer who then was elevated to the House of Lords, which can only be done.
She was a media person. She was working in media. She wasn't a lawyer. She was in BBC.
Media, yeah, BBC. Then she was made a Dane, which is elevated to the House of Lords, which can only be done through royal assent, through the Windsors. So you've got the Satanists, those with reptilian souls, in the Windsor apparatus in the royal family, collaborating with the Seven Gate Syndicate that Seven won the largest civil damages award in history in the High Court. So QED. And over to you, Seven.
Yeah, well, the thing is, these people, in particular, Helen Alexander, she's now faked her own death. And this is something that they do. When they know their card is up, they're busted, they will fake their own death. When I put together with my family, on behalf of my family and everybody that died in Grenfell Tower, the crime report about Grenfell Tower being a mass murder of mammoth proportion in the most horrific way possible. They blocked escape exits so that nobody could get out. Can you believe that? I mean, when you peel this onion and you have a look at how rotten it is, you just think, what kind of people do this stuff? Now, at the same time as Grenfell Tower, there was also an attack in Alexandria, ding, 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 ding. In America, there was a shooting it was a sporting event of some description. And at the same time as they did Grenfell Tower, they did the shooting in Alexandria. Okay, and that's how they signal that it was her that was involved. There's a lot of clues that they show, because they always give you clues to show who is behind these atrocities, and so that you can actually see it's them. So as we put out the crime report, bam, she pretended she was dead all of a sudden of cancer. Who dies like that over cancer when you've got billions of pounds to your disposal and you can cure cancer and heal cancer with bicarbonate of soda, which is 90p? I mean, who does she think that she's fooling? Okay, right? We got a whole industry disposal with loads of different ways of actually healing all types of conditions. When you have that kind of money in your arsenal, you have ways to heal things like cancer. Now, they put it out long before that they faked their own death. Okay, I can show you documentation where it's been there was a website which was all about this criminal cartel, because BBC made a program about them called Hustle. And on the website, they featured one of the things that they do is that they fake their own deaths. So when you read that she died on the 7th of August, it's a load of crap. The woman is still doing her evil, but she's gone underground. That's why you've heard of, some of you, evil Alexa. That's her. They're talking about her. Okay. Once you start knowing who these people are, you recognize loads of things that show who these people are. So anyway, coming back to the whole principle of doing this hashtag campaign, we know what's happening. So we have to take our power, take our love, our anger, our frustration, and we have to channel it constructively. Okay, that's like I do. I have to do that. I can't go and get a gun and shoot anybody, even though the law makes it so that I can, because I can defend myself. But that's not where it's at. We're higher than that. We're more intelligent than that. And so therefore, we have to use the highest principles available to us where we can be proactive. Now, we can start blasting these corrupt organizations with hashtags. Get out. Yeah, they had a movie called Get Out, which was about the organ harvesting industry of Black people that they've got going on right now. Okay, it's the same people running it, okay, in real life. So we can take some of these hashtags. We want you out. That's one hashtag. Stop your evil. Jail the 7 gate crime rings. Shut them down. Shut them down. That's a hashtag. So you can direct hashtags to your own people of your own social media networks, such as boycott mainstream media. You can get that hashtag moving. Boycott terrorists in mainstream media, or MSM. Boycott terrorists in MSM. Or you can go boycott murderers in MSM. Blast those out to your audience and get everybody to blast them out as well, so that we fill the atmosphere with these hashtags. Then we can directly direct some of these hashtags to these corrupt organizations, to the BBC, to the ITV networks in the UK, which is also, I think BBC, is it also ABC there, Alfred? But we're talking about all the associated mainstream networks. We want to start blasting these people's organizations. You can blast the Bilderberg group. You can get inventive about it. It means you don't have to go onto the streets and protest. You don't have to go up and down with a placard. You don't have to go into their offices and pull them out, and I understand when people say they want to do that, they want to go and kill these people. I understand that, but that's not the way.
But also let me ask you this, because the example that you began with was about release the memo, right?
Right.
Which is a very strategic kind of legislative, legal media move, right?
Right.
So people can also construct hashtags around public interest moves, you know.
Absolutely.
Like investigate 9/11.
Right.
here we have all the perpetrators of 9/11 are walking around free.
Yes,
Right
but
now.
here's the thing. The difference between this hashtag campaign, Alfred. It's not so much investigate, because we've already investigated it. We know who done it. We want the people behind bars now. Okay? It's no more, because we cannot go to Satan to investigate Satan. These are Satan worshippers. These people believe in deception, treachery, corruption, murder, filth. This is what is on their brains 24/7. And then they put in on a nice business suit. They sit in an office and they dial their numbers of who's going to be killed next. Okay? Who's going to be targeted? Whose life is going to be ruined with them parked outside your house, breaking into your house every 24/7, moving in, putting in bugs into your property. This is what these people are about. We don't need any more. We do the investigations. The power is with the people. We are the power. We are the sovereigns. Okay? They are those people in position of power. They are there to serve humanity, and they're not. That is the trickery of it. They're making it look like on paper they're there to serve humanity. You try and go to any one of those organizations to jail the 7-Gate crime ring. That's a hashtag for you. Jail the 7-Gate crime ring. Jail the Satanists. You don't have to use that 7-Gate one. If you want to, you can. But the objective is to transition from actually externalizing power. We have to transition away from that now. We have to stop considering them to be some elite ruling class, okay? These are the scum of the earth. They're under your shoe. They're under your foot. Get thee behind me, Satan. It says it in the Bible, okay? These people are low. They have a low vibration. They have a low level of consciousness. These people don't have the ability to think and reason and be wise. They don't have it. How can a wise person go to a fool to get any forms of solutions? You turn yourself into a fool. You're a wise person, Alfred. Would you go to an imbecile to get instructions? No, you wouldn't. I'm just being real with you. There's none of them in any position that is going to do anything at this point. I don't believe it. People have been saying Trump is going to do it. At this point, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Okay? If you want to believe it, with his 2 billion indictments that are going to come out, maybe they will. And I really pray for everybody that he does it. But I really believe the whole two-party system structure is bogus. How can you have 7 billion plus people controlled by 2 sectors of society when there are so many different versions of people, languages, religions, perspectives, you know, origins, cultures, nations? How can you have 2 to represent all of that? Come on, people, it's time to wake up. Ah! Oh, Lord, help me. Sorry, I just have to be real with the people. I tell you, I sit and I think to myself, how can I communicate this message of let's shut it down in a way that people will just get it? Like a switch on. Everybody on now. That's how I feel, Alfred. How do I do that? And I tell you, it's the hardest job in the world. It's a job for me. And I don't get any rewards. I don't get a penny. I don't get nothing. But I tell you,
I think you're doing a great job now. I mean, that's my opinion, and I think that many people who are watching you will get it, that we have. I mean, do you know that there is research showing that there are about 1 million humans that have reptilian souls that are in positions of power, they don't have empathy, and they know how to game the system, so they get each other in positions of power. And they're in authority in the churches, in the banks, and in the governments, and in particular things like the synagogue of Satan and the Jesuits. You know, if you look at the Mystery Babylon pyramid, it's God, and then underneath that it's the Jesuits, and the rabbis of the synagogue of Satan is a second tier power, and then underneath that it's the bankers and the monarchies. The monarchies of the Netherlands have human hunting parties where they position the soldiers of the armies of the Netherlands around the royal lands so that they can shoot youngsters who are gathered up at the halfway houses, and they shoot them like they would shoot deer who shouldn't be deer. If you go to positivefuture.info, you'll see my own platform to be Earth's representative to the Galactic Governance Council, in which I say that animals should have rights like humans. We shouldn't be killing and eating animals, you know, even, let alone human. Well, these humans, right? These monarchies, the ones that are in Britain, the ones that are in Belgium, the ones that are in the Netherlands and all around, they have human hunting parties. They have reptilian souls. That's the condition now. That's a condition that we're in. And that's what we need to change. We need to eject the humans with reptilian souls from power. That happens where you have churches who have state power, where you have monarchies who have state power, where you're using money from banks, printed by banks, you know, that, and governments that are run by humans with reptilian poles. They just go, ah, ha, 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 ha. You know, money is like electricity and water. It's like a human necessity. So it should be like electricity and water that you get at the money utility. Absolutely. I agree with it. So over to you.
Well, Alfred, the difference between it continuing and it stopping is with everybody that watches this. Because everybody that watches this, each person has the power to influence, just like you have, I have. And I put my soul and my heart into conveying that message, okay? And hopefully it will connect with the hearts of people watching, okay? Just like you do. That's why you have a big audience. My audience on my channel, they keep the numbers low, so I have no idea how many people I'm reaching. But I am starting to be recognized in the streets, which is quite amazing to me. Someone shouted out, 7! I was like, how do you know me? I watch you. I know about you. I know about your case. I was like, wow. So when the YouTube says only 11 views, you know, it's getting out there. You know what I mean? The message is getting out there. And that is my hope, that I will reach people and inspire people, not to listen, but to take action. Because as I said, we have to transition beyond just watching people like me rant and sound off on the soapbox, going on and banging on. We have to take power into our own hands. So, hashtag, just be strategic. Some of you that are targeted for your genius. There are many people that are targeted who are starseeds, they're indigos, they're crystals. We're talking about extremely intelligent extremely gifted people who, for them, know how to use Photoshop. They know how to make videos. They know how to get creative with the whole thing, you know. and use creation in that way. We also have musicians who are gifted. You know, there was a revolutionary artist, I don't know if you know who he is, Alfred, but he's called Fela Kuti. He was from Nigeria in the 70s, and he fought the corrupt regime. You know, he used his music, and his music was done with so much excellence. He was a masterful arranger. He was a masterful, he had a huge orchestra on stage, you know. And he made a documentary, and it's called Music is a Weapon. We have to look at the tools that we have available. So we have hashtags that we can blast to these people. We can start, as I said, I've said this to you before, and I haven't done it yet because I haven't had the circumstances. Currently, I'm living without a proper home. I don't have a proper home. I don't have proper foundation. Every time I try to do something, they take out the computer, they sabotage the computers. And so I haven't been able to put my network together. My network is together, I just don't have a premises to start filming from. But I do intend to do a number of shows on healing, crystals, live music with revolutionary.
Where can people, because this is like the first news to me that the targeting of you has reached such extremes, and where can people go who are hearing this news and really want to support you, you know, in many different ways, morally, financially, economically, with opportunity, forwarding all of this around?
Well,
I know that there's a Facebook group that I always post in on Facebook. It's called 7Gate, and that's the one place that I always know to go to. But tell us more places that can go. Sorry?
I don't control that Facebook page. I have no activity on, no. I don't have any. They shut me down on Facebook a long time ago, and now I'm starting to sweat. Oh, God.
Oh.
So they shut me down, so I'm not on Facebook at all. So anything that says 7Gate and it's not me, it's not me. I'm not on there.
Oh, well, we can start a, we will start a Facebook group
okay,
called
great.
what should it be called? It'll be hashtag what? Or
can we do that afterwards, and then
yeah,
we'll come?
sure. Yeah, great. Yeah.
If we put it at the bottom of the video.
Okay.
Because we don't want to start it and we announce it, and then before we get going, shut down.
No, great.
You know, I don't want anybody's money. I want my own money. I want to be paid for my work, what they've stolen from me. But the best way people can support me is to join the hashtag campaign. My Twitter is Solutionaries, SOUL. I have to get a tissue. SOULUTIONRIES. Solutionaries TV on Twitter, and it's Solutionaries Media Network on YouTube. God, all of a sudden I'm just like really, really hot. 1 second. Just get tissue. Okay. Sorry, I just really, really hot. Oh, hold on. So anyway, here's the thing. Yeah, the best way people can actually help me is to become proactive and join in these solutions. So the second solution that I'm going to be kicking, I don't know how much time there is. If there is time, I'll show you quickly. I'll whiz through some things.
Yeah.
But the other thing is to take legal action. Now, I made a video on my channel, Solutionaries Media Network, SOUL, Soul, SOULUTIONARIES, Solutionaries Media Network on YouTube. So how you can help me? Subscribe to my channel. Let's get the numbers growing. We've got a beautiful family that's starting to grow, and beautiful people are following, and UK is rising actually. I'm really proud of my UK fellow brothers and sisters. UK massive. we're UK is beginning to rise, you know, and I'm really inspired by that. You know, I'm getting so much amazing feedback. People are sharing the videos. So we're starting to grow, because it's really important that the UK, primarily before anybody, all of us have to rise up wherever we are, but the UK, because this is the belly of the beast. So the UK, once the UK gets empowered and rises up, and it is ripe, you know, we've hit critical mass. Okay, we've already hit critical mass. We can see that in so many ways. We've got mainstream artists now, like Lenny Kravitz. He just did a tune called It's Enough. And he's talking about everything that I've just said in a song, which his album is called Raising the Vibrations, which comes out in September. And if you go into his song and you look at his lyrics, it's enough. He's saying exactly what I'm saying. So there's a feeling in a mass populace, you know, once we got celebrities and people like that who start saying it as well, we're onto something. You know, there's something, a momentum being built up. And what I need more than anybody and more than anything else is people to join that momentum and push it. We're in labor right now, okay? The time is right. This is what the blood moons, and I was talking about the Mazzaroth, and I didn't make the point that I was going to make, which was when we had the 27th of July eclipse. We had 3 solar eclipses. We had first on the 13th of July, then we had the 27th of July was the blood moon eclipse, the longest ever one in history. And it lasted for 1 hour and 43 minutes. It's historical. Once that took place, the transition, the machine was in motion. Get into gear. This is God signaling. It's time now, people. It's time. We've reached that point now. It's time. This is why in London, on the 26th of July, you could see the moon from the window. On the 27th, when the blood moon was happening, you couldn't see a thing. They must have harped the place up to smithereens because it was all totally overcast. It was blocked. You couldn't see the moon. I could see it online in different countries because people posted it live and I watched it live. But in the UK, because the UK is the belly of the beast, they did not want the people to see the moon. So they obscured it. The following day, on the 28th of July, we could see the moon again. That's when I knew. They know. And they know that the people are rising. Can you imagine how they must feel? They've done all these evil, wicked things to people, and they're killing people, and they're making excuses. They're framing innocent people. They're blaming it on everything. The purple people, the blue people, the Russians, the Muslims. They got a name for everybody but themselves, okay? So they know that we know, and they know they're on holy ship mode. They're coming for us. But you see, we don't need to go into anywhere and start pulling people out. They know they've committed genocide, okay? They know that they're doing it on a massive scale. And you have to know that. You have to know it in your heart that that's the truth. I'm speaking the truth. They've committed genocide. They're killing people on a mass scale. Blatantly now. If you look at the movie Godzilla, the trailer, there's a movie called Godzilla, which is supposed to come out in 2019. And in the opening of the movie, they said something like, "You can't kill all these people. You're a monster." And the woman says, "I know I'm a monster." And she does it anyway. And that's when all the fires. So the release of that movie, Godzilla, which was their flag for the Operation Mockingbird productions. And these Operation Mockingbirds are productions, are all these burnings that you're seeing. Burning down, like the movie Quo Vadis. Have you ever seen that movie, Alfred Webre? on the psychopath Nero.
Yes.
You should get that movie out, everybody. Get that movie, Quo Vadis. In Quo Vadis, they burn the place down, and then he blames the Christians. And they're saying, you can't blame the Christians, they know it's you. So when he realized that the people knew that it was him, he started running. He was psychopathically sick. These people have justified burning people out of their houses right now. They've justified it. They've sat down rationally, and they're literally sitting there with a cup of coffee on the table or whatever, and they're planning how they're going to kill masses of people to achieve their quota of X amount of millions of people left on planet Earth. This is what they're sitting down engineering every single day. Every tax money that you give these people, this is what they're using it for, particularly in the UK, okay? There is no wise people in there anymore, if there ever was, okay? You can't trust these people, they're no good. They don't care about none of us. Okay, so once we understand that, then you get to the position of, okay, this is where we're at. They're planning to kill us. Let that drop, let the penny drop, and feel the magnitude of the weight of that issue that we all face, not 7 as a targeted individual. We're all targeted at this point, because it'll be your city next week that they come for, if not tomorrow. They're doing it on a mass scale because they can see that people are waking up. They know what that blood moon is. That was the Most High saying to his people, take your position, get to it. Let's take action. Just like that Apocalypto movie that I asked you to watch, Alfred. Apocalypto, a Mel Gibson film. And there's a scene of a blood moon, and they're doing a sacrifice. They're doing a human sacrifice in there, right? They're doing a human sacrifice in the movie Apocalypto. And then the moon eclipses while the man is on the slab, and they got the knife and they're going to kill him. And they got all these people around some sort of a pyramid structure. Anybody who's watched that movie Apocalypto, it's an epic movie, and it's a brilliant movie to watch. And it's the Mayans. But was doing their ritualistic sacrifice. And they had the moon in the background, and the moon went black. As they lift the knife to kill him on the slab, the moon went black. They dropped the knife, and they knew what that meant. That was the Most High that said, enough! Enough! We're coming for you now. That was what that movie. When I saw the blood moon all over the different countries, I was watching it live on streaming, Alfred. I said, God has risen. They're finished. They know they're finished. You just have to know it. Take your position. Get your computer, your phone, blast these hashtags, okay? So let's show you how to do a hashtag as well. The other thing, if there's time, it depends how much time. If there isn't time, you can watch my how to do a court case, your own court case. It's really simple, okay? We use forms every day of the week. Every day of the week, we use forms to open social media accounts, to open bank accounts, to do whatever we have to do. It involves a form. So I don't want people to feel overwhelmed or daunted about the idea of taking proceedings, okay? Now, concept behind this is, because I've thought about it, we could do class actions, but at this point, there's a lot of distrust. Rightly so, because there's a lot of infiltrators, okay? So, how do we overcome that situation where we have distrust? We go back to the empowerment of self, okay? So, what my plan is to give the tools that I've used to sue 10 corporations and win. It's unprecedented what I did, but I didn't. And it nearly killed me. I'm telling you what it took to do that was no joke. But all these years later, Nothing's changed. It's even worse. It's even worse because now they're covering up the fact that I won. So they're covering up the fact that this case was won. The judge was later on found dead or announced dead. God knows what happened to him, really. Okay? And it's gone on. It's gone on and on and on and on. And the wheels are going like this. They're still turning every day. Turning, turning, turning. The wheels of evil. More dead. Chuck them in the bin. More killed here. Chuck them. You know, I mean, it's just... And while they mock people in their movies, they mock everybody and they laugh about it like it's hilarious. Oh, we're killing all these people, all these children, we're just killing them. Oh, it's so hunky-dory. Listen, people, this is where we show what love really looks like. Love doesn't mean that you're a wuss. My mama never made no wuss. My mother always used to say, you're strong. I was small. I was like a bag of sugar, my mom said. I'm still small. Anybody who's seen me is tiny, I'm not big. But it's about the internalization of power. Doesn't matter how much you got in the bank account. Doesn't matter if you've got a credential near your name or you have not ever been to school. If you can use the social media, you can join the hashtag campaign and you can encourage other people, especially for the young people. Get this to young people, people that have got big networks like Stormzy and all these grime artists in the UK and all these hip hop artists, these grassroots people, musicians. We need to mobilize everybody to be blasting them. We know what you've done. Stop your evil. Not investigate justice for Grenfell, justice for 9/11. No. That day is finished. It's finished. No more of that talk. Stop it. Stop calling these people elite. We're talking about psychopaths, criminals, murderers. That's the names now. Murderers, terrorists, criminals. They're not elite. They're under your shoe. That's what you have to remember. Okay? So, what we're going to do, if I get time, if I haven't got time today, because I don't know how much time, I only plan to make a short video. But you know, the spirit comes in me. Because as I said, I don't know how to convey what I see and what I feel. I don't know. How do I make people get it? How do I make people realize they have the power? You are the difference between life and death right now. Every single one of you is the difference. As you wake up tomorrow morning, you are the difference between the people getting killed tomorrow and dying because they cannot operate their evil when the evil is done under the spotlight. When they know everybody's looking at them, where they gonna go? Wizard of Oz. We're talking about the Wizard of Oz. Is a little man behind the curtains, blowing everything up, making noise. Where are they gonna go? They have to come to the table and say, you know what, we're sorry we've been doing this. However you're gonna make that excuse, that's a difficult conversation for them to have. We know this. But somehow, some of the wise ones in there have to come forward and say, shit, she's right. We done it. They have to. And you have to force them to. Force them to by your eyes, by showing them, I know, I've seen what you've done. You can't lie to me no more. Stop your lies. Stop it. Every single one of you, including me, Alfred, we've all got a right to be here. Every single one of us, whether you got money in your bank account, whether you got a husband or a wife, whether you got credentials near your name, whether you was Oxford educated, Cambridge educated, whether you've got a master's degree, a PhD, or nothing, whether you're walking the streets, wherever with a sleeping bag and a piece of cardboard, you have the right to be exactly where you are and higher or lower, wherever you want to go. Nobody has the right to tell us that they are going to kill us because they want to keep their satanic regime of evil going. They don't have the right. They don't. When you do not become proactive, you acquiesce with wicked people who are looking to kill you and your whole lineage. That's what is going on right now, people. Most of you who watch me and listen to me banging on and on and on, you know I'm talking the truth. You know it. You know it. You feel it. You feel the horror. How can you see people, children, thousands of children getting killed, knowing that there's children underground somewhere? You are the difference between these children being somehow released at one point and them not. By taking to your little keypad, it's not going to cost you no money. You would have internet anyway. You would have it anywhere on your phone. Okay? These how to do court cases. It's very, very simple. It takes a claim form. You fill out the claim form. You issue proceedings. You need a few components to be able to issue proceedings, okay? If you don't have any money, you can do a fee remission in the courts, okay? You let them know whether you're getting benefits or whether you're getting some sort of help somewhere, or you don't, you have a low income, you still can do proceedings, okay? We know they've shut down getting legal aid to people, but do not let that deter you. The science behind what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you take proceedings, for instance, you could take proceedings against the media for running false flags against, to genocide people. You can cite my evidence, the 7 versus Gossage case, as part of the evidence. Okay, we just duplicate it and we send it in. That's one way to do it, okay? Against the same people that I sued. Each and every one of you, you could sue the mainstream media, even if you never mentioned my case, even though you would get more power if you mentioned my case because it's a legal precedence. It's already been won in the court. Even though they're covering it up, you can bring the copies of the court audio, which establishes that it's already been won, okay? Now, each and every one of you can issue proceedings against the BBC, ITV, CBS, what's it called? CNN, ABC, all these networks, because they are involved in genocide of the innocent populations, okay? You can do that. Even if you don't win, consider this. They have to employ an army of lawyers to pay to represent them. Now, if people was to do that en masse, if everybody was to take out a claim form, and I'm going to show you a copy of a claim form in a minute, if everybody was to take proceedings against a corrupt institution, or all of them, you can, like I did, when I did my lawsuit, I sued 10 of them, and I put all their names. You got a pick of people to choose from out of a whole bag of bullshit, okay? Put their names down and put your name at the top. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? Put it in the courts. Obviously, the court system in the US is going to be different in terms of the documents that you use, but in principle, it's the same thing, okay? File it, and they're going to stamp it, and they're going to seal it. Then the party that you're suing gets served your documentation, okay? They have to respond to it. Now, here's the wonderful thing. If they don't respond to it, you can apply for default judgment by default. That means that they have to pay you. If they don't say anything, they have to pay you. If you do say something, they're going to have to pay somebody else. If everybody was to sue the BBC tomorrow, like en masse, thousands of people issuing these against the BBC claims, you shut them down tomorrow. If you shut down all of these networks, if you issue proceedings against the press, the corrupt press, for lying, to cover up crimes against humanity, for perpetrating atrocities, you shut them down tomorrow. That's the power you have. You don't even have to win. You just need thousands of you doing it. How are they going to defend that? They're going to be overrun with cases coming at them, right? As much as you blast them with hashtags, blast them every day, you make memes, get the young people active. Do not send your children into the entertainment industry. Do not, okay? Do not allow your children, if they're talented, do not let your children go in that industry, because they will murder them for their publishing and their copyrights. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. How much?
Yes, yes, fine.
All right. So that's my Twitter handle here. This goes down every time I look at it. It just goes down. It's funny. So okay, so basically, let me just show you previous tweets that I've done. I did one. All right, so these are my previous tweets. You're going to see that the hashtag is on all of them, so that you get an example. So these are my hashtags: No More Evil UK, Let Love Rule, Get the Criminals Out, Boycott MSN Murderers, Boycott MSN Terrorists. This is what I tweeted. When did I tweet that? Oh, that's on the 22nd. Pay up what you stole, jail the 7-gate crime ring, get out Satanists in power. So these are all hashtags. Now, the thing about hashtags is when they're multiple, when lots of people use the same, it means that we don't have one hashtag going viral. We have loads of hashtags going viral. This is the key for us all to be using the same ones at the same time. Just like release the memo was one hashtag which went viral, but then they can block that hashtag. So we have to bypass that by doing a lot of hashtags. So I put please retweet everywhere. So again, this was one that I did yesterday. Please retweet annual worldwide targeted individual event. And these are my hashtags. Okay, No More Evil UK, No More Abuse UK, Get the Satanists Out, Boycott MSM, which is mainstream media, Get Murderers Out, Power is the People's, Let Love Rule, Boycott BBC, BBC Murder People, MSM Murder for Profits. So mainstream media murder for profits. Expose the corruption, which a targeted individual called Shane from TI TV. He was the one that came up with that one. But if you look at my videos going back, you'll see all of them have a hashtag.
Yeah.
So let's do one. Sorry?
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but for those of us who are not familiar with the hashtag technology, could you just explain, when you said they can block some hashtags but they can't others, could you just explain what a hashtag is and how it works?
Okay, so these are some trends. Hashtag is another word for trending.
Okay.
So this is the hashtag that is trending, Upstart Crow, whatever that is. Hashtag Scotland Hour. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Those are hashtags. So these are trends. That means that it's popular.
Yeah.
It means it's what's popping on the internet.
Right.
British lost masterpieces. That's hashtag. That is a hashtag.
Right.
So obviously you can join any of these hashtags. So let's click a hashtag. When there's more than an X amount of people who type in the same hashtag at the same time, it means that it will appear in the trending section. Okay.
I see. Okay.
So what happens? So let's look at the meaning of life in 4 words. Okay, so that's a hashtag. So once you click on the hashtag, you're going to see all these different hashtags. So these are hashtags, don't panic. So that's a meme right there. So somebody's done the hashtag, the meaning of life in 4 words. 42, so don't panic. So that's somebody else. So these are all people using that particular hashtag. So they've all tweeted something. So these are mean, be excellent to each other. So that's a meme. So you could do no more evil and have a short video with a little meme, which is like a GIF. This is a GIF. So a GIF is another word for a snippet of a video which is moving. So it's like a moving photograph. And it just repeats itself, it repeats itself, repeats itself. So they're just repeating over and over, but they're saying be excellent to each other, which is great, and something party on dudes. Now, if we take these principles that are being maximizing how we use social media and we apply it to get ourselves free from the devils, and we put boycott mainstream media, let's say that hashtag runs. So it will start trending, and then lots of people will put in maybe gifs of false flags or things that Building 7 fall in, or little things that show BBC's corruption. Okay, why BBC has to be, we need to get the criminals out of there. So each hashtag, eventually each hashtag, you can do, I mean, I've been doing capital letters because it signifies anger. But you can keep it lowercase. You know, I don't know. I really don't know if people, I don't know if whether you do a capital or a small hashtag makes any difference. But I've been doing capital letters. So all of these people are all hashtagging the meaning of life in 4 words. And they're putting photographs, they're putting GIFs, that's another GIF. You see, so all of these people have all done some form of a hashtag, get your belly scratched. You know, that's a weird one because that's a man in that suit. Anyway, you get the gist, Alfred. Do you understand what I mean now?
Yeah, I can see, now I understand how hashtags work.
Right. So now the meaning of life in 4 words. So if we go back now, so you can put photographs, that's a GIF. But you can include this statement on a picture and blast that out. But obviously, you can be strategic about where you're sending it. So for instance, if you're going to blast mainstream media, you put something that is, you know, relative to them. You know, stop your false flags, stop your murdering people. You know, we don't want investigate this and justice for this, because that's basically disempowering yourself. You're giving them the power. You're telling them, I want you to do for me what you should have done for me years ago. They're not going to do anything for any of us. They've already established that. So let's look at these more hashtags. So that was one hashtag. Let's look at another hashtag, just so that you get an idea. So that was Britain's lost masterpieces. This is the hashtag. So basically, anybody who writes British lost masterpieces is going to be put into a section on Twitter where it shows, right? Exactly. So all of these different BBC 4. So you could hashtag right now, BBC 4, you can go to any of these websites and send them a hashtag. All you do is you go into your tweet. So you go into your tweet. Oh no, I don't. See, when you go into your hashtag, well, if once you're in a hashtag, it will put it there for you. So when you go to send a tweet, it will automatically go to that hashtag. So that's the advantage. So we're going to discard that hashtag. So let's go back to my home. So we're coming out of, what's this one? Art, history, news. Okay, so there are loads of existing hashtags. And what we're talking about is creating our own, which are empowering ones, which shows them we've had enough. We're not taking the bullshit anymore. We're not going to let you murder people and get away with it. We know exactly what you're doing. None of us are dummies, you know. So that's that's somebody retweeted what Donald Trump said, and it's come on my timeline. I'm not even reading what he's got to say, to be honest. No disrespect, but I don't have faith in any of these people. So, you know, these are Ramola's retweeted something, somebody tweeted, she's on my timeline. I've got loads of different people on my timeline. I don't think that's the genuine figure, by the way. That's a figure that they've put because I'm being shadow banned or whatever they call it. So there's a lot more people than they're showing here. So anyway, I'm losing my voice. Just trying to find out if I could get something to drink. All right, so this is a tweet. So you compose your tweet. You start with the hashtag, which is that symbol on the keyboard. All right. And then basically I'm going to write, please, hang on. No, first, before I put the hashtag, please join our hashtag campaign to stop evil crimes against humanity.
Here, you've got a you've got a typo on hashtag.
Yeah, the hashtag is not there yet. I'm just
No, on the word hashtag. Please join our hash.
Oh, right. There needs to be a H. Sorry. Okay, hashtag campaign. Okay, so I'm gonna in no more evil. I don't know if, why didn't it type in it? I just typed it, but it didn't type it. No, all right. No. See, anything that you do has a hashtag. Can you see all these different hashtags coming up? So the idea is to get our ones in. So when they put, so no more, let's see, no more evil. I've done so many. Let's see if it comes up. More evil. Okay, let's try no more abuse. Let's see if that comes up. Okay, so it's not hashtagging it, which means it's not trending yet. So I'm going to put the evil there, no more evil. And then we're going to, so we put that, that's the hashtag, and I'm going to blast that. Send. Hashtag. Or corrupt institutions. Okay, right? And then I'm going to put, okay, so let's remove that bit there. And put the thank you at the end. Normally I include a video, but for now, just to show you, just to show you how to hashtag. Oh, sorry, Alfred. Thank you. And then you send it. Bam. Simple. There it's gone. It's gone into the ethers. Whoever's on my timeline is going to get it. And if they are inclined, they're going to retweet it, or they're going to start their own hashtag using this. Maybe they put a picture on it or whatever. Let's see what else is on my timeline. So it should come up in my, all right, so there it is. Please join our hashtag campaign, no more evil, to stop evil crimes against humanity. Send hashtags globally to all corrupt institutions. Thank you. So there you have it. It was that simple. Okay. So do you have any questions, Alfred?
Yes, click on no more evil and see what happens.
Okay, let's click on it. All right. So anybody who's done a hashtag of no more evil, it's gonna, so people are actually starting to do it. See? Yeah, that's me.
Look,
Yeah.
Sally Pitt Hartley puts no more evil, enough is enough.
Yes, so we have, these are all hashtags. So there you go. So people have already been on the train, and wow, 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 Alfred, there you go. We're in the business. Yay! Yeah, yeah, yeah. So all we need,
Solutionaries.
yeah. So that's no more evil. But if I had typed in no more abuse, let's put enough is enough. Let's see what happens when we
Yeah.
click that. Enough is enough. See, that hashtag is not popping as much as yet. Oh, there is a hashtag enough is enough. So we can get that one popping. Not one more. See, somebody's put enough. So there are some people using that one. But you get the gist.
Yeah.
So you put a video of something you're sick of, and then you put enough is enough. But I'm putting different hashtags so that mine goes to multiple of these sites. So basically we take over the whole infrastructure. Do you get the gist, Alfred?
I get it.
You get it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to, let's see. We're going to move on to these claim forms. Okay,